Live from WLNS TV, this is 6 News at 6.
How do you plead?
Guilty as stated, Your Honor.
Count.
Months of accusations and legal drama led up to that very moment. Today, former MSU and USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar pleading guilty to the charges against him.
The 6 News team has all the details and is ready to break down what happened and what the future holds for Nassar and his victims. The story of Larry Nassar shocked the capital area and the nation. Our Alexander Illich has been following the drama for more than a year now, and she joins us with the very latest. Allie?
Sherry, it was a big day in court. Larry Nassar has maintained his innocence in the state cases against him, saying the treatments he performed were accepted medical techniques. But that all changed today. Now, before we take you inside the courtroom, I want to warn you, some of what you're about to hear is graphic.
Count 5. Criminal sexual conduct, first degree, relationship, victim C. How do you plead?
Guilty.
In a packed courtroom with several of his accusers listening, Larry Nassar pleaded guilty to 7 counts of criminal sexual conduct in connection with 7 victims.
With respect to count 8, victim D, do you agree that between May 9th, 2014 and May 8th, 2015, you sexually penetrated victim D by putting your finger into her vagina?
Yes.
Visibly emotional, his voice at times shaken, Nassar admitted to using his power and authority to sexually abuse young women and girls, all but one of them during medical appointments.
Do you understand that in the plea agreement and what we've put before this court today, you are waiving any defenses that your actions were for a legitimate medical purpose?
Yes.
More than 100 women have accused Nassar of sexual abuse. Some of them were in court today, wiping away tears as they heard Nassar speak.
I think this is important, that what I've done today to help move a community forward and away from the hurting.
And after admitting guilt, the man who used to be one of the most respected doctors in his field said this to the court.
And I pray the rosary every day for forgiveness I want them to heal. I want this community to heal. I have no animosity towards anyone. I just want healing. It's time.
In exchange for Nassar's guilty pleas, prosecutors agreed to drop several other charges against him. They will also not add any additional charges for dozens of other sexual assault cases against him. The judge accepted the terms of the deal.
You violated the oath that you took, which is to do no harm, and you harmed them selfishly.
And also recognized all the victims who gathered at the hearing.
The showing here today, I'm very proud of them for being here, for finding those voices. That tells me they're finding the strength to come here today to show you that they're not victims anymore.
Nassar faces a minimum sentence of 25 to 40 years when an Ingham County judge sentences him in January. Our Jorma Duran was also at the courthouse. He continues our team coverage live from the newsroom with more reaction from Nassar's victims. Jorma.
With the media soon after courtroom proceedings, they watched a man who for years skirted away from sexual crimes stand there in an orange inmate uniform and finally admit what he did was not only wrong, but criminal.
For all those involved, and that I'm so horribly sorry that this was like a match that turned into a forest fire out of control. And I pray the rosary every day for forgiveness I want them to heal.
It was at this moment some of Larry Nassar's victims felt vindicated but disgusted at the very same time.
I think my jaw almost hit the floor.
I honestly think he did that to make himself feel better. I'm sure he wants healing and this and that because he does feel guilty about what he did. But to me, it doesn't mean anything.
An understandably callous reaction because to these 3 victims, Nassar's sorry was simply another skew of the truth.
He is a master manipulator. I don't believe there was anything sincere in what Larry said, other than his desire to refocus the attention on the good he believed he did today by allowing the community to move forward.
A major focus for these young women also revolved around those who allowed Nassar to go unnoticed. In fact, they believe criminal charges should be brought against Michigan State University for allowing Nassar's abuse to take place for roughly 2 decades despite numerous allegations.
You don't get a pedophile who is able to abuse without there being a culture surrounding him, putting him in that place. And until we deal with the enablers, this is going to continue happening.
These three victims continuously brought up specific individuals connected to Michigan State University for helping to allow Nassar's abuse to go on for so long, saying their inaction resulted in numerous girls becoming a victim when they didn't need to be.
Thank you, Jorma. Now, this guilty plea will lead to a sentencing, but that still won't be the end of the legal problems for Larry Nassar.
He's also waiting to be sentenced after pleading guilty in a federal child pornography case. He could get 60 years for that. In addition, he's scheduled for another plea hearing next week for sexual misconduct charges in Eaton County. And those are just the criminal charges. Nassar also faces a big civil case stemming from the complaints of more than 100 women and girls. Stay with 6 News. We'll have the latest on all of it as it happens. Well, speaking of that civil suit, a news conference was held today directly after the plea hearing wrapped up, where attorneys in that suit sat beside 3 women who claimed they were too sexually abused by the former doctor.
And our Alicia Bergio was at that news conference. Alicia, what does today's plea mean when it comes to the civil suit against Larry Nassar?
Lauren, Sherry, attorneys tell me that Nassar's plea today can be used in the civil lawsuit against him. But they say although it is one step closer for justice to be served, there's still a long way to go.
It was sexual assault. It is sexual assault. It always was sexual assault. This was not medical treatment. It was never medical treatment, and he admits it.
John Manley, Jamie White, and Stephen Drew, 3 attorneys representing more than 100 women and girls who say they were sexually abused by Larry Nassar.
Today's plea, I think, brings some closure for these young women that have been assaulted.
These attorneys say Nassar's plea gives the defendants, MSU, USA Gymnastics, and the U.S. Olympic Committee, 2 options in the civil lawsuit.
Accept responsibility, accountability, and make change and make this right, or they can go the way of the Catholic bishops and fight and fight and fight and see their institutions destroyed. It's one or the other.
Manley, White, and Drew urge that action needs to be taken toward the defendants, particularly Michigan State University, who they feel is flourishing in secrecy.
These young women and these girls deserve justice, and they deserve to know who knew what when. And the truth is, Michigan State is hiding that information.
We hope through this litigation to somehow make sure and effectuate change that this never, ever, ever at Michigan State happens again to any of their athletes, to any of their students.
Now, the judge in this federal case has given the parties until the end of the first week in December to reach a resolution. Of course, we'll be here for you with the latest. Lauren, Sherry.
All right, thanks, Alicia. While other parties have commented on the role of Michigan State University in this Nassar case, the university itself has put out a statement in the wake of today's guilty plea.
Yes, the university recognized the plea as another important step toward justice for the victims. The statement also reiterated the words of MSU President Luanna K. Simon, recognizing the pain and courage of the victims and expressing regret that sexual violence had taken place. The university went on to thank the MSU Police Department and its Special Victims Unit for building the criminal case against Larry Nassar, as well as the Attorney General's office. The story personally impacts hundreds of lives, and the effects are being seen around the country. WLNS will continue to follow the case of Larry Nassar and bring you every new development as it happens.
This is Weather First from Storm Tracker 6. Brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
We like to see quiet weather on this busy travel time of the year, and that is what we've got over the next couple of days. No major storm systems out there. Temperatures are cold but seasonal. Readings right now in the lower 30s. Our St. John's Tower cam looking at a nice evening across mid-Michigan. Current live conditions in St. John's now 32 degrees. Winds only 3 miles per hour. Gusts today up to 20 miles per hour. You can see 127 moving smoothly so far today. 32 degrees current temperature. Winds 4 miles per hour. So we check out the Grand Ledge Tower cam. Pretty much the same story. Current live conditions 31 degrees. Winds are calm for the moment. Jackson cam looking good as well. Temperature 30, calm winds, humidity 59%. And final stop on the Hillsdale Tower cam. Roads are dry because there's no rain out there. Temperatures are in the upper 20s. Or I guess it would be snow. It's cold enough for that, but none of that out there either. Temperatures now below the freezing mark for everyone. Wind chills are in the upper 20s. So we look at the national temperatures. Watch the dip in the blues. That's where the trough is in the eastern seaboard. But the 24-hour temperature change says the colder air is shifting east. Big warm up to our west. That is moving in. We've got highs by Friday near 50 degrees. I was thinking today, too, with all the cold weather, just checking out the flu index, and really not a huge problem out there. We are in the blue category, sporadic cases. Most of the regional cases are now being reported in the deep south, but it is, of course, cold and flu season, so I'm sure that will be expanding. No major systems out there. Satellite radar is all quiet, so precision cast through tomorrow morning if you are going to be traveling. No problem. Some clouds around tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. And then into the afternoon, we should break into partly cloudy skies, so some sunshine out there and warmer temperatures. We get back into the 40s tomorrow. As we move into Friday, you notice a few showers to our north and also a cold front to our northwest. So there are storm systems out there. It's just there's not a lot of moisture here. So as this cold front begins to move in, here come the showers, and the better moisture is going to be to our north Friday night. So that's likely where the showers will be. The winds will shift directions, maybe a little breezy at times late Friday night, but we'll keep precipitation out of the forecast. As we move into Saturday afternoon, quiet weather as well as that cold front heads towards the eastern seaboard, and we get a break for a few days as far as the cold temperatures are concerned. Tonight, partly cloudy, low temperature 27 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, we're rising into the upper 30s and low 40s by 4 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. That looks good. The 6-day forecast, temperatures near 40 on Friday. Hey, wait a minute. Where's my turkey going?
Oh, my goodness.
He's trying to sneak away. 50 on Friday, 44 on... He's going to have to move a lot faster than that for me. Slow. 40 on Sunday, upper 40s on Monday, near 50 again on Tuesday, and then we're back in the 40s. But overall, relatively mild weather. Traffic tracker, very important today. A lot of folks hitting the roads, and we've got an accident to talk about. 96 eastbound, average speed 6 miles per hour. So very slow there. Further south, there was an accident on 94 westbound. There's still some slow traffic because of that. The accident is cleared up. And then we'll expand the view even further for those heading towards Grand Rapids or Detroit. Those are the two major slowdowns. Other than that, you should be okay. You can see heading towards Grand Rapids on 96. It is actually moving at posted speeds this afternoon.
Your turkey looked a little bit more like a road runner, I think.
He's tired. I think he's getting tired of running. Yes. Better not slow down too much.
No, thanks, David.
Well, today is one of the busiest travel days of the year, and this year Michigan roads will be especially crowded. We'll take a live look at what you can expect out there right after the break. Well, today kicked off what AAA Michigan is expecting to be the busiest holiday travel season in a decade.
An estimated 1.6 million people are expected to travel home, and a vast majority of them, they're going to be driving. So our Madeline Odell is live along I-96 in Okemos right now. It's dark out there, but she's here for you with what we can expect on the roads and the highways. Madeline.
Lauren, Jerry, as you can see, traffic is now pretty backed up along 96 because of that accident we told you about earlier. But it is expected to be more cars out on the road this holiday season. And with that being said, police are going to be out in full force and keeping an extra eye out. And they're asking you to do the same. It's all part of Michigan State Police's Operation Care and Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaigns. Starting tonight, state troopers are out in full force watching for signs of impaired driving, careless driving, excessive speeding, seatbelt use, and one of the biggest problems they see, distracted driving. The ultimate goal of the campaigns is to reduce fatalities due to crashes out in the roadways.
In 2016, we had 10 fatalities during the holiday season, Thanksgiving. 5 of those included pedestrians. What we've learned is people hopefully will be more aware, pay more attention, realize that driving is a primary responsibility, and also under no circumstances drink and drive.
Operation Care started more than 4 decades ago as a collaborative effort between MSP and the Indiana State Police. Today it spans over all 50 states and is one of the longest running traffic safety programs in the nation. Here for you in Okemos, Madeline Odell, 6 News.
Thanks for that, Madeline. Well, Fred Humans up next with sports.
And he's talking about the Spartan basketball team getting ready to play in Portland, Oregon. That's up next.
This is 6 Sports.
Michigan State's 4th-ranked basketball team in Portland today and will play in the PK 80 Invitational tomorrow night against DePaul. PK stands for Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and Tom Izzo praises him and this tournament.
I couldn't be more excited to play in this tournament. You know, I think for Phil Knight, this is going to be something that started out just a ho-hum deal. I see some of the advertisements and what's going on. It's going to be a historic night for Phil. You know, to get all that many teams together in one spot is pretty awesome. For Mark Hollis to be very involved with it, who would have thunk, right? I mean, it's just anything that happens, he's involved with. And for Phil, if you know Phil or if you read any of the books, you know, self-made guy, you know, started from scratch. And I love those kind of guys. And so it's an honor and a privilege to go out there and play in this tournament.
Michigan's basketball team in a tournament, too, in Maui. The Maui Classic in Hawaii. Wolverines won late last night over Chaminade, facing Virginia Commonwealth today. Look at that perfect pass from Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman to Eli Brooks for 2. Michigan still running in the second half. Nice reverse layup there. It's now 46-41 with about 12 minutes left. Wolverines leading VCU. More highlights at 11. 3 local high school football teams have big dreams for this weekend, including the Pewamo Westphalia Pirates, who practice this afternoon at the Summit in Diamonddale. Pirates are in the state championship game for the 3rd year in a row. What a job Coach Jeremy Miller has done at P-Dub. Pirates won it all last year at Ford Field after losing in the championship game 2 years ago. The opponent this Saturday is Saugatuck. To the winner, a Division VII state championship. Our Alex Sims suggested to Coach Miller today that his team knows how to play on the big stage at Ford Field.
Yeah, I think we do. It's every year's a little different, and it feels a little different this year. It feels more like a business trip, especially compared to that first year when we went down there. So our experience is something that we're going to lean on. When you first walk in there, it's a pretty awesome sight to be on the field. But after a while, you just you realize you got to play a football game.
All right, our lead story today on Dr. Larry Nassar is making this kind of a historic day, but it already was to those in my age group. November 22nd, 1963 is a day you never forget. 54 years ago today, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Among those in my age group, Michigan State football coach Mark D'Antonio.
You must have been in grade school then.
Yeah,
what are your memories of that? I'm curious.
I remember walking across the street, and the patrol boy, they had patrol boys, you know, that say, walk across the street, and telling me that. And I think I was in the 3rd grade in Zanesville, walking to Wilson Elementary School.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Big impact. You know, at that point in time, you don't really understand the gravity of everything. The older I got and the more significant that date became, and all the different things that surround that, all the different conspiracy theories and all those type of things. I think if you enjoy history and you look at that, you know, there's so many different directions that you can go with that. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. None of us will. That's sports and a little history for you. We'll see you at 11.
All right, thanks for reminding us.
We'll keep it here. David's back after the break. He's got another check of your Thanksgiving forecast. Thanks for watching 6 News at 6.
All right, Fred, are you feeling lucky?
Well, always.
Always lucky. All right. What do you think it's going to be? Let's go to the graphic. Where's it going to stop? What do you think?
Isn't this great?
All right, here we go.
I like the Red Sox there in the bottom.
Yeah, my graphics frozen now. I got to go hit the clicker.
David,
don't move. Stay right there. I'm going to run across the studio.
Teasing people, David. Move that wheel. Come on, baby. Well, that's not the Red Sox. Those are boots.
It didn't go very well.
So Fred, tomorrow afternoon, you're going to need your, I'm out of breath now. You're going to need your sweater. Temperatures in the 40s, and I'm going to change my battery for my clicker before the 11 tonight.
Now, live TV, David.
So much for people that think this is taped.
Have a great evening.